There are a lot of videos out there on how to train or work out like a particular superhero. Some of those videos are mine, and I plan to make more of them. But if we're gonna try to be like or train like our favorite non-powered superheroes like the Punisher, Daredevil, Nightwing, or Black Widow, which is the only type of superhero we can actually realistically try to model ourselves after, well then we would need to do what Batman does. Find patterns. We need to identify the patterns that we see throughout all the best types of superheroes to see what they all have in common. Then we need to summarize it all down to a few simple principles or rules to follow so that we can train like the heroes and anti-heroes that we see. Because it's all about being the best versions of ourselves. So here are my 5 principles or rules to train more like our favorite superheroes. First, we train all the base physical attributes. Second, we need to learn to control our physiology. Third, we need to develop excellent physical intelligence and body control. Fourth, we need to devote serious time to cognitive training. And fifth, we need to practice a variety of different fighting styles. So I could do an entire video on just this, breaking down into detail on how to train each. While I might do that in the future, right now I'm just going to list out each and explain what I mean by base physical attribute and why it's important to start here. So here's the list. Max, relative, isometric, and enduring strength. Uncommon reserves of endurance, all types of conditioning, and work capacity. Absolute power and speed, and the capacity to repeatedly produce power and speed. Athletic coordination in all planes of movement. And physical resilience, which is a broad umbrella that includes active and passive mobility, durability, and stability. So I call these base attributes because once you develop these in yourself, you have a foundation to build whatever other specific physical skill that you want with less difficulty and time. Sprinting across rooftops is a pretty specific skill, and there's no way to build the agility and physical precision you need for it except through practicing it, and practicing it a lot. But if you've already worked hard to improve your speed, power, plyometric conditioning, and athletic coordination to quickly plant and change direction, you've built the general qualities that you need to even start practicing this. What's more, you'll have reduced your learning curve. So this list of base physical attributes may seem impossibly long, until you remind yourself that it's not about being great at one thing, but good at the many. Because if you're only good, but actually truly good at several things, you become something people have never seen before. Superheroes have an uncommon level of self-mastery. They can control things that people think are uncontrollable. How? By changing that reflexive physical response. That means controlling or altering autonomic processes like body temperature, breath rate and quality, and managing states of stress. So how do we do all that? It's pretty obvious at this point, especially if you've watched pretty much any video of mine. Regular, intentional exposure to extreme cold, heat, and other physical stressors. We also do it by including a breathing practice as part of our training. And I don't mean just something you do to calm yourself down when you can't sleep at night. This is instead training to actually develop better breathing patterns and strengthen your breathing muscles so that every breath you take is a better, deeper breath that better supplies your body and mind with oxygen. One where you even train to hold your breath longer. Luckily for you, I have a video on this. Will we be able to melt snow and ice under our asses after all this? Maybe not. But we will learn to be much more adapted to extreme temperatures and learn to recognize and alter small changes in our breathing that can negatively affect our physical performance and mental state. So every superhero has their own specific set of crazy skills. But for every skill that they develop and train, they all need to have great body control and very high levels of physical intelligence. We can improve body weight control through static gymnastics holds like frog stands, L-sits, planche variations, headstands, handstands, and front levers, to name a few. Then we can progress to more dynamic control with walking or crawling on balance beams, handstand walks, and of course any type of acrobatic flipping movement, which is easier said than done. We can improve our general physical intelligence by training our hand-eye coordination and our foot-eye coordination. Seems like I'm always talking about feet. But also by working on ambidexterity. To train hand-eye coordination, we can practice things like juggling or bouncing and catching a ball against a wall or the floor, and target practice like throwing darts or beanbags at targets. Foot-eye coordination can similarly be trained by doing things like cone or ladder drills, dribbling a soccer ball, or playing with a hacky sack. For ambidexterity, we can do a whole bunch of things. You can use your non-dominant hand to throw and catch a ball, draw, write, dribble a basketball, hell, even brush your teeth. And to take this whole physical intelligence, body control thing a step further, we can even do things like rock climbing, basic parkour, and acrobatic skill practice. You don't necessarily need to go full Assassin's Creed here. Even some time at a trampoline park, flipping and falling on your ass, or doing beginner parkour drills like Kong hops and half vaults, easily found on YouTube, can build a physical intelligence and athletic ability that you've never had. Then after this, you can decide what you want your superpower to be, and then figure out a plan to learn and build that skill. But if you start here, your body and your mind will be more competent to learn and improve any skill you decide to add. Being a non-powered superhero isn't just about being physically imposing. There's much more to it, and we can do better. So if you read the bios of some of your favorite characters, it usually says that they have genius or near genius intellect, and that they have trained not only to their physical peak, but also their mental peak. They've studied strategy, biology, engineering, psychology, the list goes on and on. So yeah, read a book. But there are also some things that you can do to improve general cognitive function that improves the very way your brain can process information. And lucky for burned out yet hyperactive millennials like me, learning or improving physically demanding skills that challenge coordination and balance can actually lead to cognitive improvement. The type of complex bodyweight skill activities that we already discussed, like handstand variations or gymnastics movements, require you to combine what you sense, your motor skills, and your mental processes all at once. So practicing them actually stimulates neuroplasticity, which if you don't know, is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Studies also show that physically demanding activities impact the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, which are crucial for memory, learning, and executive functions like planning and attention. Look at me sounding all sciencey. Activities requiring precise movements, such as gymnastics, enhance executive function, which include working memory, flexible thinking, and self-control. Regular physical activity also improves attentional control and focus due to the constant need to monitor and adjust movements. Brain games and language learning are effective, but unfortunately for you and me, there's no such brain game and technique that will make your IQ go up 20 points. When choosing brain games, be selective. Truthfully, many don't target areas of cognitive ability that can actually improve. But there is solid evidence that these two games I'm about to share can genuinely enhance specific cognitive skills. Dual and back training is shown to improve the brain's ability to solve new problems and think on your feet. It's like your mental agility, helping you figure things out without relying on past knowledge. This also helps improve your working memory, something like your brain's sticky notes for short-term info, such as remembering a phone number to dial. You can try it on your computer or get an app on your phone. BrainHQ is an app that I've used for about a year or so that has legitimate evidence of improving other trainable abilities like processing speed, attention, and memory. Plus, the games are pretty entertaining. Now, language learning also boosts executive functions like planning, problem solving, and multitasking by making your brain juggle multiple languages. It improves attention and focus and sparks creativity and different perspectives. Plus, it's awesome to learn another language or two and makes you much more like Batman. Supposedly he knows every language, including Kryptonian maybe? The last step we can take in our superhero cognitive training is to combine physical activity with mentally demanding tasks with something called dual tasking, or motor cognitive dual tasking. This helps us learn to maintain focus and attention while doing something physically demanding. To practice, try doing some intense exercise or movement where balance is challenged while solving cognitive challenges like math problems or remembering a sequence of words or directions. Pretty much every non-powered superhero has a huge depth of knowledge of a ton of different fighting styles. Should we learn 127 different types of martial arts like Batman? Yes. Okay, maybe not. But to be more like our comic counterparts, we can't just stick to one martial art. Mix it up, explore all different fighting styles, even learn some weaponry. Comic book heroes seem to study a whole slew of martial arts and weapons techniques to create a versatile and unpredictable fighting style. By practicing multiple martial arts, you broaden your skill set and gain a deeper understanding of combat. Each discipline you practice brings unique skills, making you adaptable in any situation. For example, Jiu-Jitsu focuses on ground fighting, but you need to be able to stand and strike at different distances. Boxing makes you dangerous with your fists, but Muay Thai makes you a problem both at longer ranges with kicks and at very close ranges with elbows and knees. Judo teaches throws and takedowns. Wrestling, among other things, makes you someone very difficult to take to the ground. Combining all this with weapons training, yes, I said it, prepares you for anything and keeps your training exciting by challenging your body in new ways. So if you already feel more like Batman or whoever your favorite superhero is, give this a like and let me know in the comments. And I'll see you next time I shine my light in the sky.